I'm Tim Stevens, one of the pastors at Granger Community Church in northern Indiana, and I want to talk for a few minutes right now about family and about keeping family a priority when you're juggling it with a significant ministry position like many of you are. You know, when I was in my 20s, got married, no kids. My wife and I tended to chase each other around the house like rabbits. Keeping family a priority was rather easy, even though I was starting a job and was very busy. Couldn't wait to get home. Spent every possible minute I could with my wife. Got into my 30s and started to have kids, and there's babies at home, and there's toddlers, and there's pressure both at home and on the job. And I love my job, but I love my family. And I honestly tried to play it 50-50, tried to give them both my best. And in some ways, there's nothing wrong with that. But a few years ago, late in my 30s, went through a tough time professionally, where I actually thought I might lose my ministry, like it might be gone. And during that time, I made this intentional decision to engage with my family, to make them number one, not just one of a couple things I juggle, but really make them my priority. You know, recently, just a couple months ago, I spent some time, about a week, working on my life plan, kind of looking at this next chapter of my life and trying to make sure that my priorities were right. And my plan for my next season of ministry revolves squarely around my family. We'll talk about just a few things, practical things that I do in order to keep them a priority. And some of these you've heard. No, there's not a lot new here. It's just a matter of intentionally deciding in advance to make these things a regular part of your life. One is date nights. We just never stopped date nights. Dating is fun before you're married, and it's natural when you first get married and have no kids at home. It gets really difficult once you have kids. It gets extremely difficult when you have teenagers at home. But that's something intentional, just to communicate to my wife that she's important enough that I'm going to take time away with her alone to spend time together. Another thing that we've just started recently, just this summer, is doing walks together. It gives a kind of a time when we can unwind a little bit when we leave the kids behind, and now that they're teenagers, this is easier to do, and we can just spend 15, 20, 30, 40 minutes together in an evening. Another thing I try to do is intentional time with each of the kids, speaking their language of love. It doesn't have to mean you're throwing a baseball with your kid. If I threw a baseball with one of my kids, it hit them in the head. They wouldn't know what to do with it. They're not sports oriented, especially the boys. But there are things that they love to do, and I'm trying to intentionally find a connection point with each of my 4 children every week, so that we can stay connected, so that they feel that their dad loves them, prioritizes them, that they're more important to me than my job, than my ministry. Another thing is important is that we take yearly trips, my wife and I, without the kids. This is huge. I would encourage you, even if you just got married and your first baby's on the way, just plan that into the regular routine. Even when you have small babies at home, it's never going to be easy. You think, boy, I just can't break away because the kids are so small, they need me so much. Figure it out. Make it a priority. When your kids are starting to grow up, it says to them, my wife is a priority to me. It says to them, my mommy and daddy love each other. This is important to them. They're the most important people in each other's lives, more important than me as a child. I'm important, but my dad and my mom think each other are more important than that. That's huge. It communicates huge to your spouse to make that time. It doesn't have to be an expensive vacation. You can figure out ways to go do it on the cheap, but I say get away from the house, so you're not spending time working on stuff around the house. Get away, focus on each other. Last thing I want to say is that your wife, guys, your wife is a thermostat. Rely on her to see how you're doing. You may feel great about your relationship and about your priorities, but she may see a different story. So rely on her. Her thermostat's hugely important. A lot of great leaders in their ministry and say, man, I wished I would have spent more time with my family. I've never heard one say, man, I wished I would have spent more time on my job or my ministry. And if you're in ministry like me, it gets screwy in your head because you're saving lives and you're spending time healing marriages, and it seems really important. But as important as all that is, no one can be a dad or a mom to your kids. No one can be the right kind of spouse, and that speaks louder than anything else. So make them a priority. I'd love to connect with you on this, drill down on this or other topics. You can find me blogging at leadingsmart.com. I'm on Twitter at Tim A. Stevens, or you can connect with me on Facebook, Facebook.com/T Stevens. Hope to connect with you soon.